Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel once again. It's your girl Glam by J. If this is your first time watching our video, kindly hit the subscribe button and subscribe, and you can also hit the notification bell so that anytime I drop videos like this, you'll be the first to watch and view, like, comment. On today's look, I'm going for a dramatic eye work, as in so nice. So as usual, I cleanse with my micellar water. Now I'm moisturizing with Cetaphil moisturizer. So mind you, you want to use your hand to moisturize the face. Kindly ensure that your hands are clean so you don't transfer dirt from your hands to the client's face. So gently applying it on the face and ensuring that the skin absorbs it very well. So you wait for some minutes for the skin to absorb it. Then I'm going in with my Meron skin prep. My skin prep, Meron skin prep, I apply it generously all over the face, the T-zone, just basically all over the face. So you also allow that to sink into the skin. So you wait for some like 2 to 3 minutes, then you prime the face. I'm using TM Essential Primer to prime. So I'm applying it to the regions, the T-zones. And you can see I'm not applying the primer under the eye. You don't need to prime under the eye because that place needs to be moisturized adequately. You don't need to prime it at all. So you prime the T-zones adequately. I also allow that to sink into the skin so that the skin absorbs it. So for the foundation I'm using today, I'm using Lady V and I think I use Zickel. So I'm using the two together to get as exact skin shade. So I'm going in with my foundation brush first before I use my beauty blender. Mind you, prior to the time I wanted to start my makeup, I already soaked my beauty blender into water. So now, and I squeezed it out so to make it damp. You don't need your beauty blender to be wet. You need it a little bit damp and moist so that it will help the foundation to set into the skin adequately. So I'm ensure that you blend the side you start applying your foundation first before you move to another area, or else you have patches, and you're trying to achieve a flawless look, not a patchy look. So that's what I'm doing. I'm blending my foundation in all over our face, side by side, portion by portion. And you also ensure that you're not packing all the foundation to the face, just pick little. And because the foundation I'm using is full coverage, a little goes a long way and it spreads very well. Keep blending, doing the forehead region. So and also be careful to not apply foundation on the hairline. You just use the leftover on the beauty blender to blend that side, and you use your powder to set so that the foundation won't stay on the hairline and to make that place patchy and it will be messy kind of. So you don't apply foundation on the hairline. You stop before you get there. You just use the leftover of your beauty blender to blend it. So after that, I'm using my Nuban Beauty concealer and my LA Girl. So I'm mixing for the inner part of the eye. I'm using a shade lighter than our skin tone. So because I always like the under eye area to pop. So then for the outer V or the under eye side, I'll use the exact skin shade of concealer so it will blend and very well with the foundation I already applied on the face. So whenever you apply your concealer, you wait a bit for it to not really dry up, just wait a little bit so that it will sink into the skin when you are blending in. It won't be patchy. And when you want to start blending the concealer, you start from the outer part, then you work your way in. You work your way in to get to the under eye part. You don't just go directly to the under eye part. You blend judiciously, blend it properly. Because that under eye, you have to be very careful, because if you don't blend it well from the start, you have crease and it won't give you that flawless finish. So I'm repeating the same process for the other part of the eye. You start from the outer part, then you work your way in. You blend very well, because the key to a flawless makeup is blending. The same thing applies to the concealer I applied on the forehead region. You start your blending from the outer part, then you work your way to the beginning. I'm done with my highlighting. So I remember the last video I posted, I did how to prevent crease for the under part of the eye. So before I go in with my setting powder, I will use the exact shade I use for the highlighting to set the under eye first before I do the setting powder. So now I'm contouring her nose. I like doing both cream contour and powder contour, because I believe that it makes the nose more pronounced. So when I go in with my brush, and you have to steady your hands here so that you don't have zigzag movements, or your hands shouldn't shake. And when I use I'm using a dark shade of her skin tone to contour, to conceal that nose, to make it have that pointed look. So now, like I said earlier, you don't take your foundation, you don't exceed the hairline. So I'm using my powder to set that hairline side, and also I'm doing a powder contour for her cheek. So now what I'm doing basically is setting all over the face. I've applied the blush on her face. What blush does is it brings warmth to the face. So sorry I couldn't record that part. Now I'm outlining the brow. Before you fill in your brow, it's always advisable to outline it, so that you have that defined eyebrow look. So now after outlining, you fill in gently. As you can see, sorry, as you can see, I'm slightly slanting the pencil, so I'm not just going in shading. I'm slanting it and I'm filling it slightly. So I will repeat the same process for the other part of the eyebrow. So you ensure that you are under the eyebrow itself, the hairline of the eyebrow. You don't exceed it, and you trace it out. So after outlining, you fill in the brow. Now I'm going in with my brow tint. I use Blood Beauty. So that one will keep the hair in place and also reduce any dark effects you may see on your eyebrow work. After applying the pencil, if you feel it's too dark, this brow tint will reduce that darkness and give it that natural effect. So I'm highlighting the brow bone area. That's why I start my highlighting brow first. So you highlight the brow bone rather. Then you use the exact shade of a concealer for the beginning and the end respectively. But the brow bone, you use a concealer that is a shade lighter than a skin tone, so that place will be pronounced. And I'm going in with my brush to blend it. Repeat the same thing on the other side. And remember, brows are sisters, they are not twins, so you try as much as possible to make them look the same. So a lighter shade of the brow bone, then the exact skin shade of the person you're working on from the beginning and the end. So for my eyeshadow, I'm using Urban Beauty eyeshadow palette. Like I said earlier, I'm doing a very dramatic look. So for the outer V area, I'm using a dark purple. A dark purple to start. What I love about this Urban Beauty palette is very pigmented. A little goes a long way, so you don't need to pack plenty on your brush. When you take little goes a long way. And I didn't use eyeshadow primer here. I use my concealer as a primer here. But if you want the eyeshadow to really pop, you can as well use your eyeshadow primer. But for this look, I didn't use eyeshadow primer. My concealer was my eyeshadow primer. As you can see, I'm through with the eye work, and I added a little bit of pigment. Now I want to do the under eye. Since I said I want a dramatic look, I used that same dark purple that I used for the outer V area. I used it for her waterline. In fact, like, wow, can you see the dark purple popping under the eye for our waterline? Now that's all. If you have not subscribed, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, guys.